From the World Wide Web, this is Reflections of a Rabbi.
One drop of honey makes a world of difference. One drop of honey makes learning sweet. Add one drop of honey to Talmud Torah, and you've got a team that can't be beat. All starts with the children. Open minds and smiling faces.
Unless you live under a rock, you were probably just as surprised as I was, and the rest of the world, to hear last week that Barack Obama, the President of the United States, would be receiving the Nobel Peace Prize. In fact, he sounded pretty surprised that he would be receiving the Nobel Peace Prize. Remember, nominations for the prize had to be in the first week of February, 10 days after he had become president. Does he really deserve this? Now let me put all my cards on the table. I'm a big Obama fan. I think he's moving us in the right direction, and I certainly don't agree with him on everything, but I think that he is doing a yeoman's job of leading this country and perhaps the world as well. I know I'm jumping ahead a week, but I couldn't help think about Noah. I couldn't help think about this guy who was worth saving. When the rest of the world was tragically immersed in sin and doing horrible things, this one man, Noah, earned God's attention. This one man was worth saving. And in fact, for this one man, the world was saved. If it weren't for him, maybe God would have wiped everything out, including the earth itself, not just the things that live on the earth. So what was it about Noah that made him worthy? Well, if you look in the Torah portion for next week, it tells us, Ish tzaddik tamim haya b'dorotav. He was a righteous and a pure man. He was a good guy. He wasn't some amazing human being. He wasn't some masterful artistic magician. He wasn't anything more than you and I are called to be. He was a good, righteous, honest guy who did the right thing. We sometimes compare Noah to Abraham. Compared to Abraham, Noah is called a tzaddik in pelts. He's a tzaddik who wears a fur coat because when it gets cold out, you can either put a coat on or build a fire. Abraham builds a fire. When God tells Abraham, I'm going to destroy Sodom and Gomorrah, Abraham argues with God. He doesn't just worry about himself, he worries about the people, he worries about the people around him. When God tells Noah, I'm going to destroy the world, what does Noah do? He builds an ark. He puts on a coat, he protects himself. So he wasn't even as good as Abraham, as Abraham. But there was something about Noah that made him worth saving, that made him worth recognizing, that made him worth standing out in the Torah so that we could learn something from him. And I think that what made him unique is not that he was some superhero, but that he was just what you and I could be, a good person doing the right thing. Is Barack Obama a superhero? I don't think so. Is he going to change the world? I hope so. But I'm not holding out hope. But is he a good person, making good choices and working hard for what he believes is the right, the just, the fair thing? I think he is. Is he a righteous man? Is he a pure man? I think he is. And if that's good enough for Noah, and if it's good enough for God to save Noah and to save the world, then I imagine it's probably good enough for the Nobel Prize Committee. So to Noah, thank you for being righteous and pure and for allowing our world to continue to exist. President Obama, congratulations on being a good person. Until next time, Lehitraot.